What do you got for us? What do you got in your bag of tricks over there?
Deep dive.
Yep.
Deep dive this week is we're just talking about just trusting the process, mate. Give history the respect that it deserves. And it's just, I often go on about lessons that have been reinforced, sort of Supercoach values and things that we've stuck by year after year that are proven. And people off a 1-2 game sample size seem to forget about history and think that it's worthless. And let's use Khan Pereira and Will Warbrick as an example. Now, we get some shit wrong in this, mate. Such as, Nicho Hines, don't buy him, great call. We get some shit right as well. And we said even before the season started that CT dubs like these blokes, they might start slow, but you've got to be patient. The tries will come and the money will come. Now, they've both had great weeks. Khan Pereira made 170k last week. He's now 370k and negative 70 break even. He's about to make a ton more cash. Obviously, there's Jojo Fafita, Ken Mamala around there, but regardless, he'll be staying in my team until he plays another game because, if he plays another 2 games, he could be 500k plus, and if he judges a few more tries, and make us 300k. Lots of people jump ship, mate, which is just absurd. Will Warbrick, not as good, but he made 80k last week, and people jump shipped after a slow start to the season. Got his try last week, a couple of line breaks in there, negative 18 break even. He's going to make a ton more cash now.
Yep.
So it just frustrated me that so many people jumped ship on these blokes, despite, we've seen this time and time and time again with cheapie CT dubs. And the other one probably made around that same idea of trusting history is that we say that front row, two more. Ben Hunt, Adam Reynolds. 2 blokes that were really popular buys. Ben Hunt after his big round 1 performance. Adam Reynolds after a good couple of weeks. And there are sort of a few people saying, why didn't you talk about Adam Reynolds more last week? They're just blokes who have never really been Supercoach relevant. If you can somehow catch they go on streaks where they'll have a few big scores in a row. But neither of them really average over 60 in their career. Hunt's come out and got 50 odd last week. It was about 20 the week before. Adam Reynolds, people jumped on last week and he scored 27. He's now got a break even of 63 and he made $7,000. It's like these 2 blokes in particular, the sample size has been a decade.
Yeah.
And they've only ever been good in patches. So, look, someone like Adam Reynolds, he's got a Tigers matchup this week. Could come out and go gangbusters this week and, fix that, break even and score well. But one there, and just the other one was around front rowers. We sat here last week, do we go Tapani, Tohu, Tino Fasua Malawi, Payne Haas? They all scored pretty well the same, mate. There was about 5-10 points max between them all. We said last week that whichever way you went, there was no bad option. Obviously, unfortunately, Tohu got injured 45 minutes in, so that didn't help his cause. But at the same time, people who looked elsewhere and went for Nicho Hines got their 180 because they chased the upside, the high ceiling player. Yep. That's where moves were made, not in the front row. Now, I made a move to Joe Tapney because I needed a front rower because Ruben Cotter was out and I didn't want to play Franklin Pele or Davey Moali. That's different, but stacking front row, that sort of thing, it's just not the play. So that was my lesson for the week.
I think trusting history is a really good rule to follow. I'll give you a cracking example. I've got a mate who's he's definitely in the top 8 best-looking blokes that I know. And over the years, he's unearthed guys like Ruben Cotter, Jermaine Hopgood, all these sort of guys. He gets one wrong on Nicho, and the village just comes with their pitchforks, Just trust history.
Trust history.
Trust fucking history, you fuckers. All right.
It's right at least 48% of the time.
Exactly right. That's all we need. All right, mate, you got some stats for us? I'm good. The first name's Nicho. Fucking fantastic. Just what I wanted to hear.
Yes. The first name on this list is Nicho. Now, where are my stats? So, I don't know why I did this to myself. I'm saying we'd stop.
Can we skip to the second name, please?
We'll do it quickly, but I thought it was worth mentioning for any non-data nerds out there that saw that Nicho scored 180 but didn't look at the exact numbers behind it. 4 try assists, 2 try contributions, 5 goals, 21 tackles, 3 offloads, 7 line break assists.
180s was unders, though.
I know, how do you score 180?
It's insane.
7 line break assists. I was going nuts about Reece Walsh having 10 line assists in his 3 games this season. Nicho's got 7 in 1. Anyway, moving on. Zac Hosking, very popular buy this week. Yeah, this one will
this one got
inflate
some
your ego a
movement.
little
Don't worry
bit.
about that.
I knew you might need a bit of a booster by this time in the show, so I threw him in for you.
Thank you.
We know he scored a try and looked the goods, but it was his base stats essentially. 47 tackles, 12 runs, 2 line breaks to boot and a try, 2 offloads, 5 tackle breaks. Some serious Supercoach numbers there, mate.
Yeah, he's even when he was up at Brisbane, the base stats he gets through and everything is just off the charts with attacking upside. And he just feels like the sort of guy the Panthers are going to get around, I reckon.
Big bad Greg Marju,
Ooh.
the boy. I think we were both tinkering with him. I certainly was for round 1. Didn't get named. First game back, and the talk was, imagine what he could do on that left edge outside KP. KP obviously not there on the weekend. Came out, played right edge. 24 runs, 12 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks.
Wow.
Oh.
And as long as KP is out, the right side, which is Jackson's strong side, it's the side that you want him on at the moment. So I don't have the balls to do it, but fuck, it's appealing.
Yeah, I said on last night's podcast, mate, that, and so I won't go into it too much, but Greg Marju, just defensive deficiencies have been his issue his whole career. It's the reason why he hasn't played a ton more NRL games. They come up against Manly this weekend, who are a pretty red-hot attacking outfit. He's on the edge of Ruben Garrick, Josh Schuster, and where Tommy Turbo loves to play on the left. So I just don't go early. If he comes out and lets 4 tries in, I hope he does as a soon-to-be Ruben Garrick owner. But for Marju's sake, we all want to see him succeed in the NRL and be a mainstay of this night's team, don't we?
Yep.
But look, so if he comes out, holds his own, scores well again, he'll be on the radar next week. But I'm not one I'd be going early on.
I love this one. Tyrell Sloan, 78 in week 1. How good? That's now out of his rolling average, and you're dealing with a 53 and a 15.
15. So this was one that I needed to just inflate my own ego a little bit, mate, after a poor call. Tyrell Sloan, the first 2 weeks, sort of sitting there going, we hammered him a little bit in the preseason, saying there's just too many low scores in him. He came out and went 78-53. People jumped on at 298k, 15 points against the Sharkies. Now has a break-even of 37. He made his 48k. He had 7 runs.
Yeah, and this is who Tyrell Sloan is. He's a really good footballer. He's a horrible Supercoach player. Let's be honest here.
So, yeah, you can hold him for 1 more week in the hope that the attacking stats do come. It's down in Wollongong. It's against the Dolphins, who have their own injuries. So hold him 1 more week, but if he stinks it up again, he's going to be a sell, and you'll have made about 40, 50k.
Yeah, and you could,
And you've wasted 2 trades on him.
Yeah, and you're going to probably have to trade him soon, or you're going to lose that 40, 50k that you made. So, tough spot to be in. You can't get them all right, as we know this week. So if you're backed in Tyrell Sloan, just be prepared to trade very soon.
The lucky last one, and this is an exciting one. Britton Nicho started the season with a 79-point average, 98 on the weekend against the Dragons. That combo with Nicho Hines is going to be so delightful.
It's funny, I remember when Nicho started to hit his form last week, I had Britton in my draft team, and I remember just going, how good's these two are going to link up all the time. They hardly did last year. So the guy in my comp that got Hines, I remember talking to him on draft day, he goes, maybe Britton. I go, combo wasn't really there last year. Fuck, I think it's evident that this year these two are going to be on.
It's going to
be a juicy stack.
Oh, boy. So, and again, the attacking stats may increase. He's never really been Supercoach relevant, and you look at him and go, how good he is, how good a line runner he is, how good a try scorer he is, prolific. Average the last 4 seasons of 62, 55, 57, 60. Among elite second rowers, he's been, at least 10 points off matching them.
Yep.
Most impressive to me this season is his base of 49 points per game. So the issue in prior has obviously been his base, his output, his runs, his tackles, etc. Nicho this season, a base of 49. Comparatively to the last 3 seasons, he had bases of 43, 40 and 42. It may sound like a small jump, but that's pretty significant. You're looking at close to 10 points extra. I mentioned that he was 10 points off being an elite second row forward in recent years. And it's a pretty small sample size of 4 games, he can keep that up, it could elevate him into keeper tier. So, look, I want to see him do it again for another couple of weeks with the base, but he's a goer.
And when it comes to like lifting your base by 6 points, it doesn't tend to be you're making 6 more tackles on the edge. It seems to be you're having more ball in your hand, you're getting more pill, and that's where points come.
Exactly. Yeah, great call, mate. So Nicho, I think he's always been a pretty good defender in terms of like he might make his 35, 40 tackles, but it's not been the runs, and you're spot on. You up your base with runs, with that comes tackle breaks and offloads and the odd attacking stat as well.
Yep, for sure.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see in a few weeks' time. I reckon people that go, like if you can find a way to have Hines, Nicho in your side, and if you can have Cleary, Hoskings, if they land on the same edge as well, they could be 2 very juicy stacks there.
And that's the thing, with all these such vital buys to get, Nicho's already at 729k, he's made 80k already, break even 41. If he comes out this week and scores well again, like, could be very hard to reach. Look, my gut feel still says he won't be a keeper.
Yep.
As I said before, mate, trust history. He hasn't been for the past 5 years. Why now? But the early indications are very good.
Yeah, he's one to definitely keep an eye on, for
He'd
sure.
be a fun dude to own.
He'd be unreal. Well, I had him last year in draft, and he puts points together. And now that he is starting to link up with Nicho, could be dangerous.
Yep.
Do you remember in that first trial last year, the Sharkies played Canterbury, and I'd already drafted him?
Straight through.
Went straight through, and I went, oh my God. Didn't happen for another 25 weeks.
It was about 3 minutes into it from memory, and you were like, wow. And then I think there was about 4 passes in the same game where went behind him or hit him on the shoulder on the melon or something.
Correct.
I was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.